It was about 4 hours ago that we first got word that there was something going on at the Branch Davidian compound near Waco, Texas. As the minutes and then the hours have dragged on, what has been going on has become apparent, or at least a great deal of it. Federal authorities have mounted a major incursion on the huge Branch Davidian compound, where David Koresh and nearly 100 followers have been holed up for more than 7 weeks now in an apparent attempt to force the inhabitants to end the long standoff, the one that began 51 days ago with the deaths of 4 ATF agents in their assaults and their attempt to arrest David Koresh. Combat engineering vehicles, the vehicles which look very much like large tanks, have been used to punch holes in the walls, and that is the shambles you see in the building at the right-hand side of your screen. They've done that, we would estimate, about half a dozen times that we know of, at about half a dozen different places in the building that we have been able to see. We don't have a complete 360-degree view of the building. Correspondent Bonnie Anderson, who has covered this story throughout much of its duration, is with us. And Bonnie, you have noticed that the federal agents, that is individual visible federal agents, are conspicuous by their absence here.
Absolutely. I think it's very important to note that we have not seen any agents outside of the armored vehicles all along. Whenever they had to lay telephone lines, replace telephone lines to the compound for the negotiations, the only time we would see people outside of the vehicles is if there was a vehicle between them and the building to be used as protection. So this is some indication that they believe, or could believe, that members of the cult are indeed near windows and are heavily armed. Now, earlier, Charles Jaco reported that the FBI knew and knows that inside the compound are at least one, if not two, 50 caliber weapons. The importance of this, and this is also one reason, by the way, that the media was told to watch out. These 50 caliber weapons are accurate to 1.5 miles, and they can hit a target the size of a notebook. The shells, however, can also travel 3 to 4 miles, and the media is about 2.25 away, so it can be a very dangerous situation. We also have to remember that according to the federal search warrant, there are over 100 automatic weapons inside the compound. Whether or not those weapons have been sanitized or destroyed, as federal officials fear, is unknown. The concern was that after the original raid, in which 4 agents were killed, 16 wounded, that Koresh and his followers may have tried to destroy that evidence.
All right, Bonnie, let's remind our viewers that the FBI has scheduled a news conference for just 1 hour from now at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and CNN plans to bring you that news conference live. That will bring us the very first official word of what we have been watching and what is actually going on in Waco, and as much as the federal authorities are willing to tell us about their plans and about what they have accomplished up to that point. One report, unconfirmed, that we had heard earlier, and we pass it on to you on that basis, was that the federal authorities had called the compound by telephone before they began this operation, and that they were hung up on. When we continue, we will bring you a business news update and continuing live coverage of events in Waco.